Yo, what's poppin', everybody? This is another podcast with Aris P. If you enjoy this, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified for other videos like this one. Thanks in advance, I really appreciate it. This time I'm going to talk about the Orlando Magic New York Knicks game that ended a few minutes ago in Madison Square Garden, downtown Manhattan, New York City. The final score was 104-98. The Magic got the win, unfortunately, and of course, all Knicks fans are very, very disappointed. First of all, I'd like to say congrats to Jamal Mosley and his young squad, the young Orlando Magic, for defeating us for the second time this season in Madison Square Garden. Okay? They have 4 wins this year, and 2 of them are against us, against the Knicks. So, of course, this devastates us even more, because that's not a good sign. They'll hardly make it to the playoffs if they continue like this. Anyway, the Magic started with Wagner, Carter Jr., Bamba, Suggs, and Anthony. And the Knicks started with Barrett, Randall, Robinson, Fournier, and Walker. And it's funny because the Orlando Magic lost from the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta. They actually got blown out the other day, so yeah. The Knicks were horrible. The Magic were focusing on their defense. I loved how Robinson blocked Wagner at some point, the German. The Magic are actually better on the road than they are at home. Kind of like the Knicks, only that the Knicks keep losing from the Magic. Anyway, the Magic have 1 of 6 at home and 2 of 5 on the road. All 5 starters for the Knicks had scored by 7.5 minutes before the end of the first quarter, from what I can recall. Even R.J. Barrett said that the second unit deserves to be starters for the Knicks or for any other team. So in other words, he's admitting that he hasn't been doing good at all as of late. R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Evan Fournier. And actually, Evan Fournier came to the Knicks because he's a sharpshooter, supposedly. And of course he is, but in the first quarter, he was 1 for 4. Both teams were missing a lot of three-pointers and even layups in the first quarter and in the second. The Knicks are usually vulnerable when it comes to opponents that dribble and penetrate, like Terrence Ross, for example. He was such an opponent today. The court is 50-94, but the Knicks kept making the same mistake. They kept stepping on that sideline, out of bounds, magic ball, all the time. Anyway, the first quarter ended 21-23. New York was in the lead. The second unit was on a roll in the beginning of the second quarter. Obi Toppin, Alec Burks, and Derrick Rose, to be specific. It looks like Mo Bamba has potential. He's the 3rd blocker of the league, and he plays like 30 minutes in each game, and he's a youngster. We need more great American big men, centers. I almost fell asleep watching that second quarter, to say the truth. I mean, yeah, frankly, I did, yeah. But luckily, I didn't doze off. Too many missed shots and too many turnovers. It was outrageous. What the hell? They're pros. The Knicks were totally inconsistent. Karl Anthony knocked down a three-pointer to put the Orlando Magic in the lead at halftime, and that's when everything started, to begin, everything bad for the Knicks. And the score at halftime was 50-49. Orlando was ahead. And they were ahead, actually, 11-9 previously, which is hilarious. Even the crowd started to become restless. They were booing in the third quarter. I feel them. I've been saying this all season long. You can't depend on three-pointers if you want to win games consecutively and consistently. You can't be consistent depending on three-pointers. You got to have a plan B, C, etc. You got to have your plays to take advantage of your big men. But okay, we don't have any special big men like, I don't know, Mitchell Robinson. To me, he's not good enough. So anyway, the third quarter was a disaster, of course. Shorter opponents were blocking our guys in the paint, which was nonsense. The Knicks were outscored. They only scored 18 points in the third quarter. They were down by 5 at the end of it, 72-67. Rose blocked Suggs, who's 2 inches taller, because, Rose is 6'3" and Suggs is 6'5". It's all about timing, baby, experience. Basketball is like life itself. Suggs improved his three-point percentage tonight. He had this chance against the Knicks. Even Okiki was knocking them down. Alec Burks was amazing. He was swishing from beyond the arc as well. He was doing Fournier's job. Yeah, he played great defense as well, which Fournier doesn't do at all. Yeah, he was a savior for the Knicks. I mean, if they had won, he'd be like, the MVP of the game. Well, he has those clutch games at fourth quarters, Alec Burks. It's his specialty. But I'll say it again. When one of the worst teams of the league gives you a hard time at home and they defeat you twice, well, you just got to start worrying. You got to make changes probably. Of course, that's something that the Knicks staff will decide and not you and I. Oh, and Carl Anthony is a very, very confident young player, I'd say. In the end, the Knicks missed crucial threes, the end of the fourth quarter, of course, the end of the game. R.J. Barrett and then Rose actually made a terrible pass, another turnover, which condemned us. Then Burks fouled his opponent to stop the clock, and the refs didn't even call it. Madness. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for listening. Tune in next time. I'm out. Peace.